Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. We are very excited to talk to you all about Karate Kid Legends, the movie nobody really asked for, but here we are. There's a lot to say about this. Going into the movie, we had the pleasure of streaming with another YouTuber, Dark Hour, yesterday, and he saw it and he gave us his thoughts. And they weren't so positive. They weren't so positive. It did not get me personally hyped for this movie. Initially, I wasn't really all that excited about it anyway, just because I don't know. With Cobra Kai, I loved Cobra Kai all the way up till the last season. I didn't even bother watching the last season because I heard that it started to get really silly. And Luke, you could probably agree with me there, right? I mean, people were literally killing each other and just absolutely outlandish stuff was happening. Isn't that correct?
That is correct, but they had a interesting way of covering it up.
Okay. Well, they're definitely, I mean, that show was genius. I mean, if for whatever reason, viewer, you're not familiar with Cobra Kai, that series, I mean, it followed, the succession of the Karate Kid movies, like 20 plus years after those films were made. And that, that's when we really got to see Daniel LaRusso's story,
30.
Johnny Lawrence's story. Yeah, 30 years later. And, we're introduced to a whole new cast of young characters in there. A lot of great characters. I really enjoyed watching all of them over the last few years. I had the pleasure of meeting a few of them at cons and such, and they're pretty cool. It was a great cast. It was really nice to see, an enthusiastic, interesting group of younger combative teenagers, I guess. I don't know. It was cool bringing that back. They did a great job. It always left you on the edge of your seat. So if you haven't watched Cobra Kai, check that out. Maybe skip the last season, but like what I did. Maybe I need to go back. I don't know. But really, nothing from Cobra Kai blends into this. Wouldn't you agree, Luke? Like, you do not need to watch Cobra Kai.
No, it was a fresh start.
Okay, fresh start. And I heard that this takes place 2 or 3 years after Cobra Kai.
Oh yeah,
the end of Cobra. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Yeah, they don't really make that clear here, and that what I heard might be wrong, but that's what I heard like twice. So that's what I know so far. That's pretty interesting. So definitely, you don't need to watch Cobra Kai, but here we are with this film. It's pretty. You know what? You're going to notice a lot of similarities to the original film. So we're going to be talking about all kinds of different stuff today. We're not going to give away any spoilers. We're going to be spoiler free. We're going to just talk about the movie a little bit. Going to, share our thoughts, our positives, our negatives, our concerns. We're going to answer the question, did this movie really need to be made? And we're also going to compare it to like the original film to some degree, because I was thinking about it a lot more afterwards. And I realized that this film shares a lot of similarities with the original Karate Kid film back when it was William Zabka's Johnny Lawrence as the main villain. So we're going to be talking about that. But before I get into the summary, just to briefly summarize the film, Luke, how do you feel just emotionally after seeing this film? Because we just watched it not long ago, like an hour ago. So how do you feel? You've had a few moments to chew on it. Just give us your emotions to start with.
Oh man. Very happy. You saw me. I was clapping. I was very giddy about it. Telling you that this is like the best movie I've seen in a long time. Like, I'm talking like 5 years, like time. It was very, like, such a great way to put the character, not just Jackie Chan's from the Karate Kid, but also Daniel LaRusso from the Karate Kid series to put them to rest.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
they both die at the end of the movie, right?
a
brutal so death. Funny. Oh my gosh.
No, it's very
my gosh.
Yeah, Jackie Chan so guts him like a fish on the end, and no, it was
they kill each other. Oh my gosh,
yeah.
That would be a crazy ending. I'm so in.
No, it was very good. It was very good closure to both of their stories. It was just a very funny, action-filled, great action scenes in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Adrenaline, that's a good one. Just had you filled with adrenaline and goosebumps and just feeling very giddy. That's at least how I felt.
I felt like there were a lot of stakes to it, like
big time. Yeah, it was crazy. It affected you a little bit because you were pretty close with some of these characters.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these characters, Jackson and I both didn't think were going to even be in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a new story for me. I mean, like I almost forgot about We all know that Ralph Macchio, Daniel Larusso will be in this movie, but almost made me forget that he was even going to appear because I was so invested in
Yeah.
these side characters, which was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, the whole ensemble cast was really tight. It was a great cast. I mean, it was not, I really want us to talk about all these characters because that's something that worked really well for this. Was just a great, beautiful ensemble cast. I don't think there was a single character I really was not interested in. I liked all of these. You got five guys right up here, in front of the sun, and I was interested in all of them. They were all great, including sort of the love romantic interest. She was actually pretty interesting. I liked watching her and her dad, of course, which is really like one of the like humble stars of the show for me.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get into that. I want to kind of save my reaction initially. I want to tell everybody a little bit more about the movie before we get started. I'm not going to spoil anything, but just tell you a little bit briefly about what happens. So the film begins in Beijing. Yeah, so we're in Beijing and we see Jackie Chan. He is a kung fu sensei there. He's got his own dojo, whatever else. And we find out that he is the uncle to the main lead, whose name is Lee. And, he's the one in the front of the poster. He's the new Karate Kid, right? And, Lee's mom, she has a big opportunity in America. They're very much they're very invested in Beijing. They've lived there forever. Now they got to go to America. Of course, here we go. Lee doesn't want to go there. He has to start a whole new life, new friends, a whole new, whole new culture, new climate. And, when he's thrown into this world, he doesn't know what it's like. He really has a pretty good understanding, but it's a whole new world to him. And, he's really kind of blind to what New York City really is, which, of course, is a world of its own in itself in America. So, he's kind of awkwardly kind of enjoying life there, doesn't really know what to do with himself until he kind of goes out of his way and he visits this pizza shop that's like a 1-minute walk away from his apartment with his mother. And that's when we are introduced to this meet cute, you could say, with Mia. So Mia is sort of the love interest here. He has a great interaction with her. And from that moment onward, they become good friends, possibly a little something else, and we watch that relationship bond over time, very much so like the first Karate Kid, which I'm all about. It was great. I loved seeing this. I was so hyped for Lee. He is so cool. I love this character. He's a great main character. I was really surprised by how charmed I was by his performance, and especially hers as well. So they had great repertoire. I didn't see that coming. But of course, there's an ex-boyfriend in the way, right? The poor Lee, he can't just enjoy himself. This can't just be some happy story, hunky dory, everything works out just fine. There's a bully. There's a bully who means business, and his name is Connor. And of course, Connor is the champion of the 5 Boroughs Karate Tournament. Ooh, sound familiar, everybody? He's a tiger. He's a fighting tiger. He's ferocious, and he's tired of seeing his girl get, real fancy, real interested with this new kid that just showed up. So he makes his presence known. He beats the piss out of Lee a few times. And you know what? Lee, he's got to retaliate to some degree. He's got to earn his honor. And, there's some other drama that happens in the background, which suggests that facing off against Connor is also important in a much bigger scale. It isn't simply just a relationship. He's not simply just fighting for the girl. There's bigger things at stake here. And I don't want to give that up. But in order to do that, of course, he's going to need some help. He's going to need some guidance. So that's when his uncle, Jackie Chan, comes back into town. And Jackie Chan, he reaches out to Daniel LaRusso. He's had, he knew about Miyagi-Do karate before. And they team up to train Lee so that they can get him ready for the big 5 Boroughs Karate Tournament. And that's pretty much very briefly summed up here. Don't want to give anything away because there's a lot of really fun elements to this movie. And we're going to talk about one in particular that I think everyone will be pretty surprised to hear about, which neither of us saw coming. That's for sure. Hi, Miss Sparkles. Thanks for joining us. Just want to make sure. I'm going to try to talk to the chat more often. I don't want to leave everybody out till the end. I've been doing that lately. That's bad. But Luke, why don't we start off by talking about Lee and talk about his character? Because this is, I was really excited for him in this because, this is some no-name actor. I think his name's Ben Wang. And I remember when there was like casting calls for the next Karate Kid. I know they were looking for like a Chinese actor, young man, and I was just so excited to see a new actor, a new young man actor, take up a really important big role. So when I saw this kid, I saw the trailers. I was pretty interested. I love seeing newer actors come into the mix and have their chance to shine. And for me, when I saw him, I was very impressed. He really does have that like Daniel Larusso charm. He's funny, he's witty, he has great just charisma generally, and I think you just see his relationship develop with complete strangers, with his mother, dealing with his trauma. It's all very interesting, very captivating, and I couldn't help but to fall in love with his character. I was really surprised by how strong of a performance he gave. What would you like to say about Ben Wang's Lee?
Very impressive. First time seeing this guy on screen. Amazing job. Great performance. Great acting. You're right. He has that Daniel LaRusso character in him. Like he nailed it. Like you said, he's funny. He's humble. Like he's charming. To everyone he really meets, he's very smooth. Like meeting that girl for the first time, like you said. Going into the stuffed crust, and then
man,
and then he happened to run into her in the alley, and then he they just hit it off, became good friends, basically set a date within like not even knowing each other for like a total of 20 minutes or so. But he did such a great job. Great. That was one of the highlights of the film for me was watching him. I didn't think it was going to be like that.
No,
but he is like, he nailed it. He has a bright future, I'd say, in Hollywood. So that's my take on him.
Yeah, I'm real curious to see what happens to him next. I mean, I'm curious about how old he is. If you get the chance to look that up, look up how old Ben Wang is, because he was really special here. And you know what? That's something I really enjoyed about Cobra Kai, because this film also kind of had in common was I love just seeing, a developing relationship between young people, because I think back to when I was that age, and it kind of takes you back. It takes you back to what that was like, the jitters and the butterflies, and the awkward tension that would arise. And this film definitely reminded me of that. Another great movie that perfectly tells that tale is Didi. If you probably haven't heard of that one, it's a great film, great indie film, one of my favorites of last year. That was like sort of a love story told in the perspective of like a 14-year-old that was in like a new place, new school. And I just immediately threw myself into his shoes back when I was that age, and really, really awesome story there. But this kind of reminded me of it a little bit more. And yeah, as you mentioned, Luke, he has just great charisma or chemistry with Mia here. I was really surprised. Yeah, like right off the bat. I say meet cute because just like in Karate Kid, I was thinking about it when Daniel met, the cute blonde. It just seemed like it was so perfect. Everything was so perfect and lined up. Everyone's so happy and just jovial to meet a new person. And you and me, when we were watching this, not long ago, we were reacting to their, their dialogue, and how we were thinking like, man, this is like literally the perfect scenario. Like
I was like,
she's telling him everything he wants to hear. He's telling her everything she wants to hear. Oh man, it was really.
It was handed to him. I gotta say that. But he is 25 years old and she is
20. What? Yeah. Shut up. What? No way.
25 years old. And
no way.
Mia is 23 years old.
Oh my gosh. That's impossible.
I know, it shocked me.
That is impossible. Does he look 25 to anybody? Look at that. 5'5". What? 25. Let's see. Do I have another close up? I mean, this is a good example. He looks like he's 14 years old.
Yeah,
he's 25.
That's how he relates to Daniel LaRusso back in the old original.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, he said such a young face, and you buy it.
Oh my gosh, that is insane! I can't believe that. Yeah, you're right. I guess that's it. So he's got quite a few more of these. I do think we're going to be seeing more from him.
Right.
I think we're going to get more of these Karate Kids. Which I'm not complaining about.
I would enjoy it. It would be great. But are you going to mention really quick? Because I was going to mention it, but I'm not sure if you want to mention it first. Are you going to mention the the shot for shot of Karate Kid Legends versus the original Karate Kid?
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to that later.
Okay, because
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say anything right now, but I was kind of in denial when you told me this before we started. But as I'm remembering, wow,
Literally, I got it all. I got some notes, man.
good, okay,
It is crazy how
yeah,
many
yeah,
I mean, they really just took it straight from the book, and it
yeah,
works. I mean,
yeah.
for us both, maybe we're just kind of dull when we watch a movie live. Like maybe we need to think about it more. I think that's kind of how it is with a lot of people. But when I was watching this, I didn't really think that at all. I was just engrossed in the story and the excitement of it. There's a lot of energy in this. And it was like I went to the restroom, and when I got back, it felt like I missed like an hour. It just seemed like it's nonstop, and it could be a little not overwhelming, but it could be a little much just how
Right,
quick everything moves. But I did kind of respect it though, because I was not bored at all. There
right,
wasn't a single second here I was bored. I think it did it took a turn about like 80% of the way through the movie. I thought it was really, I thought it was, I was very much so enjoying it about 80% up. And then the last act kind of, I don't know, it was a little dim for me. I was a little disappointed.
the last
Like
action scene
sort
or
of
of
the last
story?
act, like the last 20% of the movie
Oh,
for
okay.
me.
Hmm.
I think really once we started getting both of these senseis involved, I thought it got a little silly at that point to me. It's so funny. You see them like really abuse him too. It's really weird.
That
did that
was
kind of weird you out? That was kind of
Yeah, they
strange.
were really using him.
Yeah.
Not in a
Not in
weird
a
way.
weird way.
Yeah, not in a weird way, but they were like basically abusing him against his will, which is really funny. I mean,
Yikes.
I thought it
That's
was
not a
funny.
good way to put it.
It was funny because they were just so chill about it, and they were so like focused on just they were talking to each other. I'm not going to go into it, but
Uh-huh.
it was very
Yeah.
funny.
They
I
just
thought.
put him through a rigorous training regimen. We'll just say that.
Yes, yes.
It was bad. Probably worse than Daniel got even. But yeah, I mean, might as well. Let's talk about these guys right now. So you got, of course, Daniel LaRusso returns, and then you have Jackie Chan here. I don't think anybody remembers, Jackie Chan's Karate Kid movie with
Mm-mm.
Jaden Smith. I don't think anyone needs. You definitely don't need to revisit it for this.
It's
And I
best
don't
you
think anybody
forget it.
wants to either.
It's best we don't even mention it. That was a tragedy. But hey, Proctophile, how you doing?
What's up, Proctophile? Thanks for joining us, man. Dang, that's the biggest 4-year-old I've ever seen. 24 or 25. Didn't you say 25?
Yeah, 25.
Jeez, he is 25, Proctophile. Isn't that insane? 25 years old. So yeah, Luke, how did you feel about these two? Did you think that they felt out of place here, or did you think they added something to the story?
They added like some sort of like I don't know. This is just me. Like a badass vibe. They were so intimidating together, like that. Just like some of the action scenes and how like serious they were and determined they were to make this guy, make this kid succeed. They were great together.
Yeah.
They were really, great pair when it came
I
to
hate
it.
to say it. I think I would have rather it just been Jackie Chan.
Really?
I think Daniel was a little much if he was there. I don't know. I don't think he was like an inoffensive presence, but I think
Mhm.
Jackie Chan had this covered. He was really a big surprise here. It made me miss him. Like there's literally a picture. He pulls out a picture of himself as a young guy, and he literally looked like he just came off of Rush Hour. It was so funny. I saw his face. I'm like, bro, this picture definitely came from Rush Hour. And I thought about how much I love the Rush Hour movies. And he is awesome in this. I love Jackie Chan. He schools Daniel LaRusso's performance really. And this made me miss him. And just looking at this picture here, I'm reminded of Karate Kid. Like one of the only cool scenes is when Jackie Chan faces off against all those like bullies. Do you remember that? And he schools them. I see this picture and I
this
remember that
movie?
scene. No, in the old Karate Kid.
Oh no, yeah,
Or
the
like
very
not the
beginning.
old one, like the one,
Yeah,
the one he was in.
yeah. I've seen brief scenes of that. I haven't seen the movie all the way through, but I remember what scene you're talking about. Yeah, that was pretty cool. But he was much better in this, in my opinion.
Yeah, why don't let's start talking about something that was a really interesting segue in this movie. So obviously this is Karate Kid, right? I mean, you don't expect that we're going to be seeing a bunch of other weird stuff like boxing. What would boxing have to do with this movie, right? What boxing and karate, there's never any point in time in my life where I think those two blend because they really don't. I mean, stances are totally different. Karate, I mean,
I think it was kung fu.
karate's a lot of kicks and whatever else. I guess kung fu,
Yeah.
but here we are. We get a very interesting storyline with the love interest's father and Lee. And this, to me, was a really big highlight. And it took up a lot of screen time. I'm not kidding. I think this probably took 35 to 40% of the story. Like, don't you think, Luke? I mean, it was a big element to this film.
And like I was telling you, you were invested in it. It was like a whole nother movie almost. And it was like a kung fu boxing movie, and he did such a great. What's his name?
Victor. Victor's the character's name.
I really like this actor, but he,
you recognized him from something else.
I've seen him in Shudder. Have you seen that movie?
Okay, no.
that horror movie. But anyway, he did such a great job. Such a cool guy and cool person to look up to. To Lee, and Lee training him, and that was just really good. That was a very good side piece to the movie.
Yeah, it was weird. So yeah, what happens with him, it's not really a spoiler, but there's a big part of the story where Lee, he's new in town and he sort of like saves the dad here from getting mugged. And then from that point forward, Lee or the dad here, Victor, he wants Lee to help him out with an upcoming fight he's about to pursue. He's sort of like, an aged out professional or amateur boxer. I'm pretty sure he was like professional, but like unknown. And he has this pizza shop here, and he's trying to get back into it to get some money for this big problem he's about to face. And he's slow, he's old, and Lee trains him. He trains him on how to like do kung fu, and it's weird seeing him like blend this newfound concept with boxing. And the training is really interesting. I love seeing this guy in the bag and the sparring. These two spar each other quite a few times. Very interesting, exciting. And there's like a big fight with him as well. And the fight's great. Really interesting, really exciting. The boxing was amazing. It inspired me. It made me think because I love boxing. I watch professional boxing pretty much every week. I pay-per-view all of them. I pay-per-view all the big ones. And I really enjoy watching that. And this film just reminded me how, geez, why can't we get a Karate Kid with boxing? I would love that. I mean, this was such an exciting story for me to see play through. And it's like, it was unnecessary. It really didn't make much sense why it was even in here, but it was.
Great shots. They made they just, I love boxing movies, but I mean, this wasn't even a boxing movie, and there's probably only 10, 15 minutes worth of him boxing.
Boxing, yeah.
Yeah, but it was fun to watch. Very intense and badass. Just, he was big and he looked quick and everything. And it was really fun to watch, honestly.
The one thing that bothered me about the boxing sequence was I didn't like how when he was in the ring, those guys just start slamming each other. It's like, that's not how it works, man. Unless this is like some 3-round fight. Nah, that's not how it works. So there is some ridiculous stuff in there too. But otherwise it looked great. It was really exciting. That was my favorite part of the whole film, was that entire sequence, without a doubt. But of course that's not the main thing here. Why don't we, let's see. Yeah, so the boxing storyline. Yeah, I mean, here's the question, because just like this concept itself, why would you even put boxing into this? The big question we really need to ask ourselves was, did this movie need to be made? Because obviously it was clearly just made for a cash grab. It really was. I mean, they're not really conquering new ground here. And we're about to talk about, what was recycled very soon. So stay tuned. We're going to talk about the recycled media, because there's a lot of recycled media here and concepts and dialogue. But do you think this movie needed to be made? does this improve the Karate Kid series, or does it move it in a positive direction forward?
I feel like they needed to do more with Jackie Chan's character. All in all, I feel like they definitely recycled him for the best. His character. Yeah, I feel like he needed a lot more screen time because I feel like it was more focused on Jaden Smith and
Mhm.
Karate Kid, but this time he had a lot more training scenes, training montages, and had a lot more action scenes. And had more of a personality in
Mm.
this movie. So it definitely did Jackie Chan justice. Ralph Macchio, I really like his actor. I really like the actor Ralph Macchio, but I think he just did it for the money. But I mean, I hate to say that because
Yeah. Oh, of
I'm not
course.
not throwing shade at all. I mean, it's money. Money's great, but he really didn't need he there's no they already told a story.
Mhm.
Lee, that was just a great origin story for him.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think they started off wanting it for money, but they're very good writers, very very efficient and smart writers in this film. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It has sort of the same charm that Cobra Kai really does, and you just can't help but to love these characters. And that's what's so I mean, that's one of the most important elements of anything is that you feel for the characters and you feel invested in them and their stories and what they bring to the table. And it was like that case it was that case with all of them. Really the only one I didn't care much about was Connor, the villain. He was pretty boring.
he was a
They
dick.
did a bad job. He is no Johnny Lawrence, even though he's literally exactly like Johnny Lawrence.
I feel like
He
he's
is.
more of a ruthless Johnny Lawrence. In my say, he's
I don't know.
much more thug, like much more of a thug.
Mm,
I feel like, and much more of a modern day bully. He's just very
we don't
very
really see very much of him.
no, you
He's
don't. But he's kind of um, not a lunatic, but kind of unstable in his friend group. Also, just constantly mugging people and cheating, and I don't know. He was kind of over the top. But you're right.
Yeah. I don't know. I was a little disappointed by him. I thought he had, as you mentioned, this movie, one of its biggest perks is that it has just great action, really exciting,
Mhm.
like high stakes fights, and it looks great. It kind of looked staged, but it was interesting. I was invested in each one of the fights. And this poor kid, I mean, he gets beaten pretty bad quite often, Lee. So you can't help but to feel for him, and his brother. You learn in the movie that his brother dies, and it's a really tragic death, and you start to understand like how this is so important in his life. Why karate kung fu is like he has to right wrongs, like certain wrongs, because of his past decisions he's made, and it's really I love that. I normally don't really care about the whole trauma angle to stories. Just
Yeah.
never really interests me, especially in like young people. But I thought that was a strong angle that this film took. But I don't know. I think we should definitely start talking about the faults because this movie does have its faults, Luke. It's not perfect. It's not perfect, Luke. What would you disagree with what they did in Karate Kid Legends?
Okay. What would I disagree with? Um, Jeez, that's a toughie.
It's kind of funny because I can't like not too much comes to mind for
I know.
me, which
I
is
think
weird.
as you know, a con. I'm gonna start with a con. His mother. I feel like she didn't really play much of a part. She's kind of
Mm.
a negative Nancy throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
Like kind of not like motivating or supportive.
Oh,
Obviously she knows
that's
what
so
happened first
annoying to
time.
me. I can't
Yeah,
stand it when that happens when they have like that's always like something worrisome when
yeah,
you're watching a movie and then it's kind of the cliche, the mom or
mm,
the parent doesn't want the child to do
yeah,
what they dream of doing, and it's their passion, it's their one thing they're good at.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
feel like
tiresome.
um I can't say a specific scene because that would be spoiling. What do you got? I mean, I might think of things while.
Okay, well, I guess for me, negative wise, I don't like how so much of this film is kind of recycled material. I wish they would have taken it down a more original path, which we're about to talk about in just a minute. I think there's a lot of recycled concepts here from really just. I mean, he is kind of Daniel LaRusso 2.0, and you made just such a funny little comment that it's literally like his like weird like baby face is just like Daniel LaRusso. I totally forgot about that. He had the baby face, and he was old in Karate Kid when he did that.
Yeah, almost 30.
Gosh, almost 30 years old. He looked like he was 16. It's so weird to think that this kid is like that too. That's insane. That is so funny. But other than that, it's like I did have a very enjoyable time watching it.
Ooh.
I don't really feel disappointed. I think maybe if we think about it longer, we could find faults. But for me, I wasn't bothered by anything. And I left smiling. It was
That's
fun.
good. And that was fun for me.
It wasn't just pig slop. I think there's so much pig slop, and I didn't find this to be the case. I thought it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
The music was great in the background. It had great high energy, and you couldn't help but falling in love with the character. So I guess what I would change, just give us a more original storyline. Maybe take it darker in some spaces here. I love the thought of Daniel LaRusso and Jackie Chan dying at the end. That would have been insane. Or somehow they kill each other. Or something
that one makes like
sense.
That. I mean, I
know, but man, that would hit. Like, do something crazy like that.
I do have one more fault after you are done speaking about this topic.
Okay, yeah, here, bring it up.
Okay, so I'm not going to go into detail of the scene, but I really did not like the first interaction between Lee and the main bully in the school grounds. Lee, it made no sense because he made a fool out of himself. He got his ass whooped, and then literally like a couple scenes later, he whooped like 4 guys in like nothing. And you were thinking at first, he got beat up because Jackie Chan didn't come to train him yet. Oh, he's not, but then he already is a pro. So what did he try to humble himself?
Well, I guess that shows you that the one guy is just really good, right? I mean, he's so good, and those 4 thugs he fought. I mean, I guess they don't know how to fight.
Yeah,
that's the thugs, but
that's a good point. I take that back.
I mean, I can't imagine like in real life, some kid, like you said, he's like 5'5". He says he's literally like 125 pounds in here. Yeah. I don't know how it's even possible that he's able to fight 4 grown men, even if he's like super skilled. I don't even really know how I don't know how you beat that many guys at once. So I'd be impressed if someone was able to do that in real life. I don't know. It just seems like that's a little impractical, but that's classic movie magic, right? That's just what they do, especially with Karate Kid. I mean, you had that in the original series, and Cobra Kai, of course. I mean, they go absolutely outlandish at that, even farther than this. But let's start talking about the resemblances, because there are quite a few that just came to mind. For me, Connor, you don't really think so, but Connor to me was a huge ripoff. I mean, he literally has a very similar interaction with Lee that Johnny had with Daniel, right off the bat. Connor, he's just some dude around, and then he sees, his girl flirting with and smiling and giggling with the new guy that just arrived. Yeah, the ex. And he's upset. He's pissed. And he starts a fight with him. And he beats the piss out of him. And he humbles him right off the bat. Does that sound familiar? Yeah. There you go.
Also, X for her, but not X for him. Just like Johnny said that he was still with her, but she broke up with him, but he didn't break up with her.
So that was also the same.
Yeah, exact same. And also, he got a black eye, just like Daniel LaRusso.
Good point.
Yeah. So.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice that one. And the other thing with me was like, so. It was the meet cute that really screwed things up. It was just like both, with Daniel LaRusso when he met the cute blonde, it was a meet cute, with the radio. It was real sweet. It was perfect. It's one of those dream scenarios every guy wishes that he had with a girl randomly with the love of his life, right? And here it is just again, meet cutes her at the pizza shop, and they become instant, they're instantly close, and they're hanging out, and everything's just working out perfectly, and Connor sees that happen. Like, for me, that was like a crucial one. Let's see. The other thing was like, the way that the whole challenge that Lee has the whole movie is to get back at him, to beat Connor, just like beating Johnny. And then he, several times, just like Johnny has interactions with Daniel several times, Lee loses, Daniel loses. And, this can only be summed up for the grand finale at the end at the All Valley. I mean, the what is this even called? Like the borough,
the
five
boroughs.
boroughs. Yeah, the 5 boroughs. It's like, okay, man, come on. And you get to the tournament, the big tournament. It's just like the All Valley, except it's in New York and it's Skylines now. And they're just cutting each other off one by one in the tournament. Nothing really unexpected there. And the fight goes about the same. It's up to the last point. And this is a little bit of a spoiler, but I don't think anybody cares. Lee has his crane kick moment. He has the crane kick moment, but it's not the crane kick. It's his own thing. They practiced it.
It's a lot different.
It's a lot different. It's cool.
A lot more complex, which is great.
It's cool. Yeah, but I mean, it's the same concept, and that's what does it.
That's every movie. Come on. I mean,
I know, but that's the problem. It's every movie. And I don't know. It's just that's a big one, just noticeably recognizable. I mean, when you were watching that, you knew that was going to happen.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. I mean, as soon as he was practicing the move in the movie, I knew that was going to be the big ending.
The other thing is that Connor also fights exactly like Johnny Lawrence. I mean, they call him a tiger in here. And I mean, just super hyper aggressive. He's obviously, instead of a cobra, I like that. He's obviously bigger than Lee. He's the bigger guy. And he's not like cocky like Johnny was. And he's not a character. He's just kind of a thug, like you said.
Yeah. But, and he's got an abusive mentor, just like John Kreese. Because he said that we fight to kill, and John Kreese was like the same way. So he's kind of like a mentally abused to have that mindset, to hurt.
So remind me this, because this is something that just kind of came up. So like, doesn't in the first Karate Kid, because you just watched it again, right?
Oh yeah, I watched that all the time.
So did Daniel in the first movie have like a miniature falling out with the blonde girl, and then he got back together with her like right at the tournament? Did that happen? I feel like it did.
Did Johnny get back together with?
No. I'm talking about Daniel and the blonde girl in the original one. Did that happen?
Did they have an argument? Did they split up and get back together?
Yeah.
Did
that happen in the first one?
They had a little argument, but then he, made it up to her and everything like the same day. So
did you see that? Did you see that in this? Did you see that?
Okay. When her, when some shit went down and she was kind of ghosting him, and then he, kind of, tricked her to meeting him at a park. Yeah, that was good. The spark was there. Let me say that.
Luke and I mean, that was really one of the highlights of the movie. We loved watching this romance unfold. It was really exciting. I was so hyped for Lee. Like, let's go, bro. Let's go.
Until that damn tutor.
The tutor. Yeah, that kind of screwed things up a little bit. But I guess, those were really the similarities, but those are pretty big. Those are big ones. I can't think of any more. Can you think of any more, Luke, that come to mind that I might have missed that don't spoil anything?
Cons or
no. Like similarities.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
They didn't play like any of the Karate Kid music, which was kind of surprising.
No, they did a slight.
It was like very modern. It was all like modern stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. Other than they didn't make like a truce. Lee and Connor didn't make like a truce to stop fighting each other until the tournament. So I kind of wish they.
Wow! Imagine if they ripped that off.
Yeah, that would have been pretty bad. No, I can't think of. I would have to think more on it. I'm sure there are plenty other similarities that they snuck in there, like a little Easter eggs. But the ending when they kind of like Johnny Lawrence credited Daniel Larusso in the end of, he was like, "You're all right, Larusso," and handing him the trophy. They kind of had their moment.
Wait, you're talking about in Cobra Kai?
No, in the original Predator.
The original Predator.
They also did that in Cobra Kai, but
they
kind of had their small little respect moment in the end of this movie. which is pretty cool to see.
That's true. I liked that.
Yeah, it was good.
What is that weird noise? I keep hearing like a pan like dropping or something.
This?
Oh, that, yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm touching my microphone arm. I was trying to
I was
tighten
wondering
it.
what that was.
All right, wait,
Practifile said something here. So lame. The show nailed the final move scene. Ain't no way this movie was gonna live up to it. So they should have tried something, anything more original. Yeah, man. Yeah, it would have been. That would have been a little better. But Practifile, maybe it's because we were just so swept up into the action of it. We just didn't notice when we watched it.
No.
So I don't know. Despite that being the case, I could care less for sequel trash. I really could. I can't stand that stuff. But I would not be upset if they made another film with Lee. I think it would have been better if this wasn't Karate Kid. If they just had this kid with Jackie Chan and let the story unfold. Maybe, take some more liberties with it. Just stray away from this being Karate Kid series, part of the franchise, and just do their own thing. That would have been refreshing to me. But wait, what?
Practifile. Sorry, you just see it. You might be surprised. It really grasps your attention in a lot of scenes. But one more con, if you don't mind. I really didn't like how they were trying to make up that story where Mr. Miyagi knew Jackie Chan. Mr. Miyagi told, Mr. Miyagi told Daniel everything and all of these special people. And in Karate Kid 2, he allegedly came over to Mr. Miyagi's house during the events of Karate Kid 2. Which makes no sense.
That's funny, man.
I don't know. I didn't like that because he never existed in the Karate Kid universe. Mr. Miyagi made it clear that he, was only close to the people in Okinawa and in Encino where they were. There was no Jackie Chan. I don't like how they try to play that in the story.
Fit him in there. Yeah. It was a little bit of a stretch. Because
Daniel Larusso had no clue who he was until he came into his dojo, which doesn't make sense. Mr. Miyagi, I don't know.
So, Luke, would you recommend our viewers watch Karate Kid Legends?
Oh, if you are, which Practifile, I know you're probably anti Cobra Kai. But if you are...
That's a weird assumption. I don't think he's anti-Cobra Kai.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe he is.
I'm getting that vibe. No offense. I mean, it's not for everybody. But if you are a Cobra Kai fan or a Karate Kid fan, go for it. I mean, it was an impressive movie. I mean, I kind of, watch a movie nowadays and I'm walking out of the theater. Oh, okay, yeah, that was good. But, this was amazing. It definitely... had me smiling walking out the theater.
You were so hyped once it was over.
So
you were hyped, bro.
I was like, dude, there's no way I'm this giddy right now. This is fantastic. Even throughout the movie, I was about to tell you, I was like, dude, this is so good. Look
at that. Practifile proves you wrong. Hey, now I really liked Cobra Kai.
Sorry, that's what I was. Sorry, I hate to presume, but you will like it if you don't have to like Ralph Macchio to enjoy this movie. If he wasn't in this movie, it'd probably be the same.
He plays a pretty minuscule role. I mean, he's really not that present in it.
He teaches that karate though, and he makes an impact on Lee's life, but he doesn't really make impact on the viewers, of watching the movie. Practifile, you would probably like this movie. You probably wouldn't love it, but if you are a Cobra Kai fan, sorry to assume earlier, you'll be into it. Any Cobra Kai fan will like this. You don't even need to watch Cobra Kai.
I'm curious to see. I think a lot of people are going to hate on it though, just because I think a lot of common viewers are probably going to catch on to the similarities, which always turns people off. And that's such a stigma now in big stupid Hollywood blockbuster remakes. It's all just copy and paste, and here we go. It's copy and paste, but it's very well hidden. I do think it's well hidden, and it's not like a what do they call it, a a diamond turd or something like that. I don't know what it's called, but where it's like,
Something like that.
it's junk and then it's wrapped in like colorful, vibrant colors, and it's great on the outside. It's not that. It's way better than that. It deserves some credit. I think it's going to get a lot of hate. We enjoyed it. I know we did. We were entertained. We had fun, and we didn't turn our brains off. I didn't turn my brain off when I watched it. Polished turd. Thanks, Proctor Fowl. Polished turd. It's not even a polished turd. I think it's better than that. Not a turn your brain off movie. I think you can really get invested in these characters despite, the similarities, but he's still a different character and all these guys are still pretty different. And, there's a lot to be thankful for, a lot to be happy about, and a lot of fun to be had here. And that's surprising coming from me because I don't care about sequels at all.
Part of my surprise about this film is your reaction and in your thoughts of it. But get this, Rotten Tomatoes, 55%.
Ooh,
that's surprising. I mean,
that's bad.
89
wow,
55%.
That's low.
I know.
I'm surprised.
It'll rise. I feel like the popcorn meter is not out yet for obvious reasons.
It doesn't deserve that low, critics wise. No,
I would give it at least a 70. I'd say.
Yeah. Okay. So the number. Give us the number, Luke. Out of 10. I think I heard yours before. Don't say 10.
For me, I'd give now. Thinking about it and breaking it down, I'd give it a up to a 9.5, but not.
Whoa! Oh my gosh! Dang, Luke!
I'm sorry, but it got me. I mean, I'm seeing it tomorrow with Cassie. So, you heard me on the phone with my dad.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
It's a great movie. It touched my soul.
I think I'll give it a 7.7 out of 10.
There we go. Okay.
That's fair. I think a 7.7.
That's fair.
I did enjoy it. So I recommend you check out Karate Kid Legends in the theater. It's a good theatrical experience. Sadly, nobody else. I feel like you and me were like laughing and cheering a lot, but no one else was. Everyone was pretty dead.
Yeah.
And it wasn't very busy. I don't think too many people are that excited.
You don't need to go IMAX on this movie. This is it's completely fine to watch it standard format. The audio is great. The fight scenes are great and all, but it's, not necessary for IMAX.
Yeah, that's true. But I think that's where we're leaving things off, guys. Yeah, check out Karate Kid Legends. If you liked what we had to say today, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Check out Luke's channel, Galley-Ardo, if you're interested in watching some gaming streams, watch him play some horror games. It's always fun. You don't ever really get all that scared there, which I'd like to see. I haven't seen scared Luke.
I get scared. Sometimes playing Phasmophobia. But But anyway, check it out if you want. I rarely stream. I'm gonna try to stream this weekend. I'm gonna play some what is it? Keep going while I look for it.
Okay. Well, I'll tell everybody about what's coming up next. Tomorrow night at Well, actually, not tomorrow night, tomorrow evening at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. If you're looking for something interesting to do, join us. I'm going to be joined by Kyle Corwinth, Cammie at Let's Tune In, and possibly another guest. And we're going to be ranking the May movies, the blockbuster films that have been coming out. We have a pretty interesting lineup. If you're not too familiar with the different tier ranking system, it's pretty fun. I've seen a lot of channels do this, yet I haven't seen anybody do it particularly in this way. We're trying something new out. We're going to be trying to do it every month, where we're going to rank all the movies that came out in that month, and we're going to have different people on with different perspectives, and we're going to rate them. And at the end of the day, we're trying to show you if any of these new releases are even worth watching post theatrical release, because I know for the fact that a lot of these I wouldn't ever watch on my TV here. I mean, there's so many better things to watch that are old. So if you'd like to join us tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time, and that's adjusted for other time schedules as well, please join us. I'm really excited to talk about that. We're going to be talking about all kinds of movies, so join us for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Luke, did you have something you wanted to conclude with real quick?
I just gonna respond to Proctor Fire really quick. I really appreciate that, man. I'll be a lot more active once me and Cassie move into the townhome. I'll be on my computer a lot more often. And what? You're not gonna join my stream, Jackson?
No, I'll join you, Luke. I always join you. I'm always W's in the chat. W's in the chat. Luke.
Trust me, I'll be a lot more active and a lot more on my channel. then. But
Okay.
right now I'm never here unless it's a Tuesday night or
That's good.
occasional Thursday night. So
It's a great time to be on, man. Great time to be on.
hey, thanks, Dr. File.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate